What is going on, YouTube? Working on another custom today, and today I'll be working on a 1967 Chevy Chevelle. I've done one other custom in this 67 Chevelle. I love this casting, and it's actually a very universal casting as you have a lot of wheel options that fit this casting well. So we'll see what we're going to do with it. I'm pretty excited about this build. I got some decals that I think are going to be pretty awesome on this one, and it's going to be a little bit of a more complicated paint job, but I'm looking forward to it, and it should be fun. So I've already gone and drilled out the posts and put the screws in. These are 2x56 button head screws. You can find them on Amazon, and they work amazingly well. Oh, that came apart really easy. So there we go. Pretty basic, pretty simple. This is a fairly brand new casting, so everything's going to be in pretty good shape. Haven't quite decided yet if I'm going to do a wheel swap, as these wheels actually roll pretty well. So I'm going to hold off on taking these out for now, although they're pretty loose in there, so that's going to have to be fixed. But anyway, it's time to get the paint off there. Being a new Hot Wheels, this clear coat is pretty rugged, so I'm going to scuff it up like I've been doing for most of my customs for a while now. Scuff it up pretty good. That way we let the citrus strip get in there and do its job more efficiently. I think we're in a good spot to put the citrus strip on there, so let's get this paint off there. As usual, I'm using citrus strip to strip the paint. I really like this stuff. Works really well for me. Some people will use some other stuff out there, which I haven't tried yet. But once this jug runs out, I may give some other products a try. I don't know. Just use a brush to get it all on there. I like using a brush to put the citrus strip on because it gives me a little bit more control of where I put the citrus strip. So there we go. Citrus strip is on there. Now it's just a waiting game. One thing I always forget to do is get these bottom panels. So let that sit for a while, and we'll be back when it's time to take that paint off. In my last video, Racing Fan 15 asked for a shout out, so here you go. He does a lot of NASCAR stuff on his channel, so go check it out, and if you like it, subscribe. Alright, looks like the citrus strip did a pretty good job on there, and it's time to take off all this paint. Citrus strip cut in there really nicely, and all this paint's coming off pretty easily. It actually turned out that probably a good thing that I went over it with that sandpaper a little rougher than what I wanted it to, because the citrus strip worked really quickly on this. I think I let it sit for about 15-20 minutes, and yeah, did a really good job. So can't beat that. Looks like I should have put a little bit more on the edges here, but nothing little steel wool won't be able to take care of. And I think that's about as good as I'm going to get it right now. So time to wash it with some warm soapy water, go over it with the steel wool, and we'll be ready for some primer. I was hit up again in my last video for another shout out for NASCAR Phil Torres 46. Does a lot of NASCAR stuff on his channel also. So go check it out, and again, if you like it, subscribe. Once I got the car all cleaned up, I went over it with some gray Krylon primer, and then I went over it with some Krylon Color Max satin black paint. I like using the satin paints just because I think it makes for a better finished product, but that's just my opinion. I then taped it off and went over it with Tester's Gold. I've used this Tester's Gold paint several times in the past, and I really like it, and I think it turned out really well. The car's all painted up and is now ready for some decals. And if you haven't guessed already, I'm going to attempt to recreate the infamous 1967 Chevy Chevelle, driven by Curtis Turner and designed by none other than Smokey Yunick. You may or may not know who Smokey Yunick is, but I guarantee you've already seen him. If you watched Cars 3, Smokey in that movie was based off of none other than Smokey Yunick, who, in real life, was actually the crew chief for the Hudson Hornet, so the movie is actually really accurate. Smokey Yunick's impact on racing, not just NASCAR racing, but also Indy racing, is incredible. The reason why Indy cars have wings is because of him. The reason why NASCAR's rule book is so thick is because of him. The reason why NASCARs have templates for their cars is because of him. He definitely worked in the gray area, and if it didn't specifically say it in the rule book, well, he was going to try it out. So what's so important about this 67 Chevelle that Smokey made? Well, it's probably his ultimate masterpiece. This car was amazing. The popular urban legend is that it was actually a 7/8 scale version of a stock Chevelle, which couldn't be further from the truth. What Smokey actually did to the car was he moved the body of the car backwards 3 inches for better weight distribution, raised the floor and smoothed out the underside of the car for better aerodynamics, and made the bumpers and fenders flush with the rest of the body. So even though the car looked stock, it was far from it. Smokey built 2 of these cars for NASCAR racing. The first car, driven by Curtis Turner, took the pole position at the 1967 Daytona 500, and people lost their minds. The unsponsored, underfunded car shocked the NASCAR community, and many drivers accused Smokey of cheating. However, it passed an inspection and continued to race until Turner crashed it in Atlanta later that year. The second Chevelle was built for the '68 Daytona 500, but never made it past inspection. Another great Smokey Yunick story is when NASCAR started to regulate the size of the fuel tank. Smokey obliged and had the correct fuel tank in there. However, there was no regulation on the size of the fuel line. So he made a fuel line that was 2 inches wide and 11 feet long. This let the car hold an extra 5 gallons of gas, and he could stay out on the track for an extra 10 to 15 laps before having to pit. NASCAR obviously took note of this and pulled his car in for inspection. During the inspection, they removed the fuel tank, thinking he had manipulated it somehow to hold more gas than allowed. And actually, during the inspection, they found 9 things on the car that he needed to change before he could race that car again. With the fuel tank still out, Smokey jumped in it, fired it up, and as he was driving away, he said, well, there's probably 10 things I need to change. So as you can imagine, with all of Smokey's bending of the rules and working in the gray area, drew the ire of NASCAR and Bill France Sr. These two despised each other, and is probably one of the main reasons why Smokey, to this day, is still not in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Although he's in 30 other Hall of Fames, he's not in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. He was named the NASCAR Mechanic of the Year 2 times. He earned the Mechanical Achievement Award at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and Ontario Motor Speedway, earned the Engineering Award at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and Inventor of the Year in 1983. Definitely a no-nonsense type of guy who was not afraid to bend the rules to get that competitive advantage. Before starting his motorsports career, Smokey Yunick joined the Army Air Corps in 1941 and was a pilot. He was a B-17 bomber pilot and flew over 50 bombing missions during World War II. Not only a racing legend, but an American legend also. All right, it is now time for the best part of the build, putting it all back together and seeing how it all turns out. I painted the base, and I think it might look pretty cool. It's not going to be an exact replica of the Smokey Yunick car, but I think it might look all right. I don't know. I didn't paint the interior. I think the black's going to be perfect for this paint scheme, so there was no need to mess with it. And the tinted glass, I think, is going to make it look pretty dang cool. So, without further delay, let's get this thing all back together. I'm hoping it looks cool anyway. All right, time for the moment of truth. Let's see how it looks. Oh, wow. This turned out really, really well. I am very pleased with it. That gold and the black. Although you can see where on the 13 I didn't quite get it lined up right with the white 13 underneath it. Actually, it gives a kind of cool effect, but it's a little bit off. I stuck that dang decal on there, and it's stuck on there, and I tried to move it and it just would not budge. So that's what happens sometimes when you're dealing with these decals. It's kind of what I expected, but I am very pleased with this. One thing I was worried about was these 13 decals being pretty thick, and you can still kind of see where they're at, but they're two decals on top of each other. So cost of doing business. I really like the gold stripe on the bottom. I think it really brings the car together. And the wheels, I know that's been the overwhelming comments in all of my videos, is I should have used better wheels, I know these are all cars that are going to be raced on the track, so I'm pretty much keeping the stock wheels on them. Once I get them back from being raced, I'll probably do wheel swaps on them and let them collect dust on my shelves. But anyway, very cool. Let's take a closer look. So I've spent most of this video talking about Smokey Yunick, and rightfully so. The guy's a legend. But you can have the fastest car in the world. If you don't know how to drive it, then it doesn't mean anything. So let's talk a little bit about Curtis Turner. This guy was a racing legend. This guy was awesome. He's the only NASCAR driver to win 2 Grand National races in a row from the pole by leading every lap, which was Rochester, New York, and Charlotte, North Carolina in July of 1950. The only driver to win 25 major NASCAR races in one season, driving the same car in each of them, which he did in 1956. The only driver to win a major NASCAR race that was red flagged because his car was the only one still running. He also thought up, secured financing, and built Charlotte Motor Speedway in 1960. He was the first driver to climb Pikes Peak in less than 15 minutes. And he was the first driver to qualify for a NASCAR Grand National race at a speed greater than 180 miles per hour, which was in 1967, driving the number 13 Chevy Chevelle. In 2006, he was inducted into the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America, and in 2016, inducted to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. So, quite a bit of history in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm really happy with the way this car turned out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and we will see you on the next one.